Hi everyone, my name is Christine Sowa, and I'm here to talk to you today about how we can find new sources of misinformation, in particular surrounding the 2020 US presidential election that's about to happen. First, I'd like to talk about what the problem is. Almost 70% of Americans get their news exclusively from Facebook, but not all of this news is coming from quality news sources, and this is according to Pew. 15% of the time when someone comes to a fake news site, they're coming directly from a URL from Facebook. And additionally, there are things called pink slime, which are fake regional news sources that are emerging so rapidly that it's very hard to differentiate between reliable local news sources and these shoddy fake ones. So the question then becomes, how can we quickly determine which news sites that are shared on Facebook are reliable during this 2020 US presidential election? In order to do this, I collected data from Facebook using the tool called CrowdTangle. I looked at posts to public Facebook pages that had comments or had words related to the election and linked or shared a link to an outside news domain. So these were the search terms that I used. I then created a script in Python to clean the data. For each CSV, I made sure to only include information or posts that were shared in 2020, and I flagged posts that went to fake news site domains, and I cleaned out the domains. So when I say fake news site domains, I am talking about news sites that were labeled as fake in the 2018 article in Science by David Lazar, which if you read my paper, it's referenced there. So what happened was I was able to create networks out of all this information that I gathered. So here's an example network with the term just voter fraud. All these red dots are public Facebook pages, and the green ones are the news articles that they shared. If you're wondering why some of the news articles are brighter than the others or larger, that's because the larger green nodes are articles that are on fake news sites. So if we look at this, we can see that some of these Facebook pages almost exclusively share fake news information about voter fraud. However, some of them are more reliable, like this one in the middle is almost all two reliable news sources except for one. So how can we use network analysis to determine which sites that we don't know about could potentially be fake news? So here's what I did to assess that. I created a fake news score for each of the Facebook pages that was sharing information based on how many of the articles that they posted about the election were to fake news sites. So for example, if a Facebook page had 10 posts and none of them went to fake news domains, they would have a fake news score of 0. However, if another Facebook page had another 10 posts about the election and 5 of them went to domains that were already labeled as fake news, then that whole Facebook page would have a score of 0.5 as their fake news score. Now that I had a score for each page, I wanted to score each domain. So I grouped each domain, and every time a domain was shared by a different Facebook page, I took the average of all of the fake news scores for each Facebook page and scored that domain. So that's how I came up with each domain's fake news score. In terms of results, I found that actually all of the top 10 domains that I found that were the highest in fake news scores were ones that were already classified as fake news. And I'd like to also add a caveat that I only wanted to look here at domains that were in the data set at least 5 times. Otherwise, it seemed like there wasn't enough data to make a reliable call on its validity. It was too easily swayed by just a single instance or not. But all of these are fake news sites according to that Science article. One of the top fake news score domains that actually wasn't labeled was one called the Daily Patriot Report. So if you go to the dailypatriotreport.com, you find a news site, and according to my algorithm, it has a fake news score of 0.51. The article that was shared by this news site in my data set was called "Biden, My Supreme Court Picks Will Support Right to Kill Unborn Babies," which is certainly a quote taken a bit out of context. But 5 pages in my data set had shared that exact article with the exact same message, saying the left has absolutely no regard for life. So I think it's a little bit suspicious that these pages have the exact same information that they're sharing in somewhat of a peculiar manner. But on a more positive side, we can use this algorithm as well to label safe news sites that we view as trustworthy. So these were all of the domains that had a 0 average fake news score, but with many instances of them showing up in the data set. Seeing sites like the BBC, LA Times, and Time is more of a sanity check to prove that this is a more valid way of ranking them. Also seeing Joe Biden and then Trump victory, the domain actually links to information about Trump rallies, but seeing information for, or domains that link to or support both presidential candidates in the safe news sites is also a good indicator that this doesn't have as strong of a bias towards the left or the right. So finally, some future steps that I'd like to incorporate with this work is I'd like to automate the collection of the network links so that I can have all these scripts run daily. So every time there's a new domain that pops out, I can have a score for it that day saying, this is how much we should believe it or not. I plan to incorporate more sophisticated algorithms to check and see if there's a new way to make the fake news score any different. And finally, I'm really excited to apply this work to both Reddit and Twitter's platforms and to compare the results. So do the same domains rank similarly across the different platforms? That's something I'm interested in learning about. And I hope you are too. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I have a paper on this somewhere on the 2020 BRiMS platform, but feel free to shoot me an email and we can talk about these results. So thank you so much for listening.